beautiful morning to sport fans all around the world. This is your delectable sports program, Sports Diaries, and I am going to be taking you around the world of sports, ranging from latest sports news, expert analyses, and exciting highlights in the sporting arena. I am INIOLUWA, popularly known as Sports Diva, and this is coming to you from no other station but iPower 102.7 FM. Now, let's step into the dynamic world of sports, beginning from the home front in the world of sports. With this game-changing story, the Eagles B stumbled against others in Chan opener. Defending champions Senegal began their 2024 African Nations Cup title defense with a narrow 1-0 win over Nigeria in a tense Group D opener in Zanzibar recently. Christian Gomez scored the only goal of the match and to earn the Teranga Lions a hard-fought victory in a contest that featured flashes of attacking qualities but was ultimately defined by physicality and discipline. Both sides, among the continent's most successful footballing nations, traded blows throughout an encounter that never lacked intensity. Nigeria, returning to Chan finals for the first time since 2018, started brightly and pressed with intent through midfielders Nduka Jr. and Raymond Tochukwu, who were both booked early on the tackles flew in. Despite the early aggression, it was Senegal who settled faster, showing composure in possession and soaking up pressure effectively. Chances were at premium in the first half, though Sikiru Alimi forced a solid stop from the Senegalese goalkeeper Mark Diouf, while Daudaba and Mokhtar Koité tested Nigeria's defense from distance. The big breakthrough came in the 75th minute when Koité surged down the right and delivered a low cross into the box. Gomez timed his run perfectly and calmly converted with his left foot, sparking celebrations from the Senegal branch. Nigeria sought an immediate response, introducing Vincent Temitope and Godwin Obaje to add firepower in attack. Temitope nearly leveled the dying minutes, but his efforts drifted just wide, while Jabbar Malik and Alimi posed threats from the set piece. Senegal defensive duo Saini Ndiaye and Joseph Layuse stood resolute under pressure, marshalling the back line with experience and composure. In a total, 7 substitutions and several injury stoppage disrupted the second half, while the tension split over in other time, while Shola Adelani penalized for handball as Nigerians' frustration grew. Despite the defeat, Nigeria head coach Eric Schella remained optimistic, insisting his side must take each game as it comes, ahead of upcoming fixtures against Congo and Sudan. For Senegal, the victory extends their unbeaten record against West African opponents in Chan competition and marks the 6th 1-0 win in the tournament history, underlying their reputation for defensive discipline. Head coach Suleiman Diallo, who had downplayed the pressure of defending the title before the kick-off. Watch on as his players delivered a professional and determined performance. Senegal now top Group D, while Nigeria dropped to the bottom after Sudan and Congo played out a 1-1 in the other Group D games. Next up for Nigeria is their second match of the group phase against Sudan, also at Amman Stadium on Tuesday next week. Yes, still in the world of soccer, where we've got this one coming from Ademola Lookman. Lookman clears Atlanta's lockers. Embattled Nigerian star Ademola Lookman isn't only missing from Atlanta's training for 2 days now, but has already cleared his belongings out the locker at their training ground as he continues to push for a move to join Inter Milan. The 27-year-old submitted a formal transfer request in an attempt to force through a move to join Inter this transfer window after Atlanta turned down 2 bids from Nerazzurri. The Nigerian international posted a long statement on his Instagram handle explaining his decision to ask for a sale, pointing to the broken promises from the Atlanta's management and poor treatment. Atlanta CEO Luca Pecassi has said that there is an informal agreement allowing Lookman to leave for an appropriate fee this summer, but not for the teams within Syria, which complicates proceedings with the Nerazzurri. In protest, Lookman has failed to report for training for the last 2 days. The Nigerian international was expected to report to Atlanta's training ground for an individual session after his recent injury concerns. However, the 27-year-old has decided to continue his protest, hoping that it will foster breakthrough in the deadlock between Atlanta and Inter. Yes, still in the world of soccer, where I've got this beautiful story on Victor Osimhen. England legend reveals why Premier League clubs didn't bid for Super Eagles star Victor Osimhen. Legendary English striker Gary Lineker has hinted as why the Premier League clubs failed to make a move for Victor Osimhen this summer, instead opting for inferior options. The Nigerian international desire to play in the English top flight is a fact, as the player has expressed his dream in multiple interviews. It came close to the fruition last summer when Chelsea were cutting its services. However, the deal fell through. 1 season away from Napoli on loan at Galatasaray, where he shone, suitors from the English top flight were expected to return for the Nigerian this summer. He seemingly expected them as well, as he stalled for weeks before accepting Galatasaray's proposal. Instead, we saw Chelsea sign João Pedro, Liam Delap, Liverpool sign Hugo Ekitike, Manchester United sign Matheus Cunha, and Arsenal sign Victor Gyökeres, all of whom are not as accomplished as the Nigerian striker who eventually signed for Galatasaray. Lineker, who was well tuned with English top flight football, having hosted match of the day for 26 years before leaving, found over Osimhen's talent, revealing he has monitored the Nigerian closely since watching him dominate his club Leicester City. Lineker then said that Osimhen's character was a contributing factor to Premier League club failing to make an effort for him. He said, and I quote, "I saw Osimhen play a couple of times against Leicester when they were in the Europa League. He was so impressive, and I followed his career because of that. He was absolutely brilliant for Napoli. I mean, he was sensational. I do not hear the grapevine. That's a reason one or two of the clubs are a little bit nervous. Is that he sometimes goes missing for a few days. So there's apparently some kind of slight question mark as to his character in that sense." While reservation about Osimhen's attitude is not a bombshell revelation by Lineker, as a striker expletive field rant targeted at Finidi George happened in public view, it is more likely that the financial implications of signing the Nigerian were a bigger stumbling block. Yes, sir. Still in the world of soccer, where we've got this one coming from Birmingham. Birmingham plot Akpom hijack after Ipswich Medical. Birmingham City have launched a late attempt to hijack Chuba Akpom proposed move to Ipswich Town. This despite the Ajax striker already completing a medical with the Tractor Boys. Sky Sports News, Anthony Joseph. It was confirmed recently that Birmingham had submitted a bid for the 29-year-old with Ajax. Now considering the proposal, talks between the Dutch side and Birmingham are ongoing. It says, and I quote, Akpom is still in Ipswich after medical with Ipswich Town, highlighting the dramatic nature of the developing transfer saga. Akpom moved to Ipswich appeared to be the nearing completion earlier this week, with reports coming in that the Nigerian was focused on joining Ipswich on a loan deal with the obligation to buy for €7 million if the club secure promotion to the Premier League. Birmingham had initially agreed a similar loan-to-buy structure with Ajax before Ipswich entered the race, but have now returned with the improved offer. The Blues are understood to be pushing for a permanent transfer worth €6 million, hoping to convince both club and player to change the course. Yes, sir. We've got this story. Man United makes €74 million bid for RB Leipzig striker Sesko. Manchester United have made a bid for RB Leipzig striker Benjamin Sesko, with the overall package potentially rising to €85 million. The offer included a guaranteed payment of €75 million. United are yet to get a response, but believe it is an appropriate valuation of the 22-year-old Slovenian forward, and the player is keen to complete a move to Old Trafford. Newcastle also want Sesko and have made a bid in the region of €80 million as they continue negotiation with the RB Leipzig. Manchester United's offer is seen as significant as there has been suggestions that they did not want to firm up their interest with Leipzig without knowing the forward was prepared to join them. United are willing to let Rasmus Højlund leave the club in order to make space for Sesko to come in. Yes, sir. We've got this one coming from Adarabioye. Adarabioye yet to decide on Eagles switcher. Chelsea defender Tosin Adarabioye is yet to fully make a decision on representing Super Eagles. That made reports that he has pledged allegiance to the Nigerian national team. The 26-year-old who was born in Manchester to Nigerian parents are featured in the youth team of England under 16, under 17, under 18 and under 19 cadets. However, is yet to make an official appearance for the Three Lions at senior level and has been reported to be interested in making a switch to represent the country of his parents. The former Fulham defender made a first ever trip to the West African country and when quizzed about an impending switch, he revealed he is yet to decide. He said, and I quote, "It is something I'll still think about, but we'll see in the near future. Hopefully, I'll start to make a decision. It's just something that has obviously been a topic for many years now, since I've become a professional footballer. But again, like I said, we'll see." Reports from the player circle state that he is close to making a decision, most likely in favor of the three-time AFCON champion. Should Adarabioye switch allegiance to Nigeria, a maiden call-up would be imminent. Although the international window for September may come too early to finalize an invitation due to paperwork and documents required.
Is it Adarabioye or Adarabioye? That's right.
I beg your pardon, that name was Adarabioye. Yes, sir. Now moving to the world of tennis, where the action is fast-paced and the drama is real. We've got this one coming from Emma Raducanu. Emma Raducanu gets new coach with Rafael Nadal's connection. Francisco Roija has overseen Rafael Nadal since 2005 to 2022 and was at the boxing of Spaniard's 22 Grand Slams. The 57-year-old will not be working with young American Emma Raducanu Roy will be Raducanu's 8th coach in the career at the age of 22. Raducanu's decision to work with Roy came after Mark Petachet, whom she has been working with for quite some time, is unable to make a balance between coaching and his broadcast commitment. However, Petachet is likely to be involved within Raducanu's team, but in an informal role. Based on recent reports, Raducanu had started discussions with Roy during the Wimbledon earlier this year. Roy joins Raducanu just ahead of the 2025 US Open. We've got another one coming from Alexander Zverev. Alexander Zverev's gesture to Eckler's moment after making Toronto semi-final to equal record. The German tennis ace recovered from losing the opening set to beat Alexei Popyrin in Toronto. Zverev triumphed 6-7, 10-8, 6-4, 6-3 over his Australian opponent in the hard-fought victory. His reward is last 4 showdown with Karen Khachanov recently for the sport in the finals. The number 3 seed also had to deal with Eckler's in the crowd of Sobeys Stadium. A spectator had started to turn Zverev during the finals. They had started to turn Zverev during the final set as he closed in on victory. However, he had a perfect response after seeing the 3-set victory. The world number 3 turned around to wave at the Ecklers in the stand. He also appeared to mouth the words bye-bye before shaking Popyrin and the umpire hand. Zverev applauded the rest of the crowd after waving once more to the Eckler as he received a standing ovation. Yes, sir. Still in the world of tennis. Yes, sir. Still in the world of tennis. Well, we've got this one coming from Rybakina. Rybakina beats Kostyuk in Montreal last 8. Zverev completes comeback. The final match ended at around midnight local time, but Karen Khachanov is one of that comes out victorious. The 11th seed gets past Alex Michelsen 6-4, 7-6-3 in a close contest to make the semi-finals in Toronto. 2 more quarterfinals are complete in Toronto. Alexander Zverev's battle back from the set down to defeat Alex Popyrin 6-7, 8, 6-4, 6-3. The German is into the semi-finals where he will face the winner of the other match written soon between Alexander Michelsen and Karen Khachanov. In Montreal, Victoria Mboko magical win continues. The Canadian triumph 6-4, 6-2 over Jessica Boza Minero to qualify a first WTA 1000 semi-finals. It is unfortunately a premature end to the first quarter-finals as Marta Kostyuk is forced to retire against Elena Rybakina, and Kaza led 6-1, 2-1 and was in control. However, the Ukrainian could not continue. That allows the number 9 seed to move on. Yes, now moving into the world of basketball, let's take the story quickly. Lakers predicted to pair Luka Doncic with a final MVP. Everything the Los Angeles Lakers have done this summer points to the fact that Luka Doncic is staying in Southern California for a long time. The future of LeBron James remains unknown, but at this point, the Lakers are looking further into the future than that he plans to play. That is why, according to recent reports, the Lakers are setting themselves up to land a superstar to pair with Doncic over the next few years, while landing someone during or before next summer might be great. Los Angeles has 2027 circled on their calendar for the time being. Both Giannis Antetokounmpo and Nikola Jokic are two names that are poised to go after. Both have a player option for that summer, and both will fit very well with the perimeter-centric star, and they just locked down for the next few years. With that, we call it a wrap on today's program. Many thanks for tuning in into Sports Diaries. Until next time, I remain INIOLUWA Adekoya, popularly known as a Sports Diva. Stay sporting. Keep loving the game. And again, a beautiful morning to you. God bless you.